yeah, so the fourth one was Pitch Black, and originally I didn't want to try it, but I just said, all right, I'm going to give this a shot, and it went on to become a huge soda for me that I ended up liking quite a bit. So the problem with it was it was essentially just like a fall drink. So by November 2005, it was gone. But it was just a sour grape type thing. I used to drink those a lot. And I just remember it. I totally remember doing it. And, you know, I was probably playing the PS2 at the time. I don't really remember. I was renting movies around that time. There was like a movie store about, you know, probably a good 20-minute drive from, or probably even 10-minute drive from my house. So I would go there and, you know, just check some stuff out. And really, I mean, you know, just renting movies at that time, it was always kind of like a form of, resuscitation or something, just because you were allowed to, you know, kick off. You know, I was in high school in 2005. You were allowed to just relax, unwind with a movie, and, you know, kick back. It was definitely a good thing to do. I don't really remember what I was eating at the time. I'd bring that up as well, but I don't know. I really didn't start going to McDonald's until 2008, and that's just, if you were wondering, never really had a cheeseburger. I'd probably had less than 4 cheeseburgers in my life before 2008. Never did it. The only thing I would get would be French fries, and I know that's really childish, but I just never invested in fast food. Never went to Taco Bell, never really went to KFC, never really went to Burger King. Little known fact, it was 2008 that I started doing that. But spring 2006 came around and I started drinking Powerade. And at my high school, originally, you were allowed, my old high school, you were allowed to drink sodas during your breaks. Now that was removed, and I think, in the state where I live, they changed it, and probably schools have changed it even further. But so I get back to school, and everyone's trying to push like drinking sports drinks and everything. So I tried one, and once again, I had never really had a Gatorade or anything like that prior to 2006. So I did that, and I just ended up drinking them. Now really, I'm not sure how many flavors there were at the time, but I especially liked the blue one. Kingdom Hearts 2 came out spring of 2006, and I basically beat that game in around 2 weeks or so. And, you know, that's about an 80-hour game. But I played that game, and, you know, I was just obsessed with trying to find more PlayStation 2 games. It was a real kind of blockhead move of me, personally, just because, you know, there was Liberty City Stories that was coming out for the PS2, and there was a whole bunch of the Prince of Persia games and a bunch of games for the PlayStation 2. So, and I think I was still renting movies. I don't know how often though, but that was 2006. I remember there were like these really spicy Doritos that I had had. They were in a black bag, and I would eat those like daily, and donuts, things like that. I mean, I was doing it. But so 2008 came around, and by this point, you know, things were calming down. But so I started drinking ginger ale. Now really, Halo was a pretty big obsession at the time for that. You know, that game had just come out, And really, I just had not spent a lot of time with the Xbox 360. So, you know, really, 2008, I was just trying to figure out some new stuff to see. Like, I had seen I Am Legend beginning of 2008 and some other movies, but I just didn't end up indulging as much as I could have. I guess the reason why I mentioned that so much is just because I'm going to start doing it now, so you guys have some interesting stuff to listen to. But, I mean, I'm just assuming that you guys had, you know, when it was 2008 and you guys were 20 or 18 or 24 or something, you guys were like, okay, we're going to wait in line for 2 hours to go see The Dark Knight, right? You know, does that sound accurate? Or, we're going to, you know, there's just tons of other movies that came out that year. We're going to smoke, you know, a little bit before we go see Pineapple Express, that sort of stuff. We're going to watch Superbad a couple times. 40-Year-Old Virgin, you know, Judd Apatow was really big at the time. Seth Rogen. Just trying to think of who else was around that point in time. Yeah, I mean, things were just really climbing. I'm certain, you know, if you're talking television too, there was some stuff going on, but yeah, I was just trying to, I was drinking ginger ale, and of course I had cherry 7-Up as well. And that, you know, I actually had that when I was younger, but I just did not really drink it that commonly until that year. So that was another drink. And, you know, I mean, Blockbuster was booming back then. I mean, I just never rented an Xbox 360 game. I never did it. I couldn't find anything worth renting in 2008. Gears of War 2 came out, but I wasn't interested, and I never really played on Xbox Live Gears of War 1. I tried it, but I just felt like the combat was clumsy. So there was that sort of stuff. There was a new Chronicles of Narnia movie that came out. There was, you know, there were movies left and right that year. Some good music came out too. So yeah, I mean, I think that was also the year of World of Warcraft. I think that's really where people were spending like 30 hours a week on that game. You know, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, all that stuff was just running high. But 2010. So by that point, I was eating fast food, but I still had not quite gotten past, like, I never had a chicken sandwich up to 2010, and never had a fish sandwich, never really had anything outside of a double cheeseburger, and so, but, I did end up doing it. You know, I just went to Taco Bell, had some fun, and there's another Mountain Dew drink that's exclusive to Taco Bell, and I loved it. You know, I really did. I would just get Taco Bell, and, you know, one of the things I like to eat would be these tacos, and I would add nacho cheese to them. So it was just good. I mean, yeah, 2010 was kind of like a real blank year. I just quit seeing movies in general. It just didn't interest me. And video games were just, you know, at that point in time, Just Dance and the Wii were like super popular. Mario Sunshine, Nintendogs, that sort of thing. It was just like a critical low. I was just trying to figure out, like, you know, my Xbox was kind of deficient at that point, so I didn't have the funds to fix it, and, like, I just couldn't find anything, and I was just, I didn't really see the point in fixing something if there weren't games that I wanted to play, because I wasn't into, like, BioShock or Mass Effect or anything.